Whether you are a screenwriter, director, or producer, if it's part of your job to determine if a screenplay is ready to go into production, this series will show you a way to evaluate the cohesiveness of your story on the most fundamental level. I'm Janine Lenouette, and I've been teaching script analysis in colleges, adult ed programs, and production companies for over 20 years now. More recently, I've gone online with videos, digital books, and now online courses to make my teaching more widely available. This is the first in a series of 3 videos about how a story can, and I would argue should, have distinct A to B progressions in action, character, and theme storylines. In a previous video, I explained what I mean by this using the climate change allegory Don't Look Up as an example. So if you haven't seen that video, you might want to take a look at it. In this video, we're going to look at a very recent favorite, Parasite. Bong Joon-ho's endlessly fascinating piece of cinematic mastery with surprising twists and turns. So we'll look at how Parasite achieves a line from A to B in the midst of all that. The plot, or action story as I refer to it, follows a classic rising action and falling action structure. The broke, busted Kim family, who are scheming to get a financial advantage in an economic system stacked against them, reach their pinnacle of success at the dead center of the film's timeline. And then it's all downhill from there. What are the external circumstances at the beginning? They are in a bug-infested semi-basement with no Wi-Fi and desperate for work. A equals broke, busted, desperate for work. What are their circumstances at the end? They are back in the semi-basement and, worse than that, grieving their losses, while being equally financially desperate and with even fewer prospects for work. B equals broke, busted, grieving, even fewer prospects for work. This is an example of a circular plot structure, which is one that ends up basically back where it started. Except that these characters are considerably worse off at the end than they were at the beginning. In their external circumstance, little distance has been traveled and nothing has been gained. The plot story, although engaging, is not what gives the film its resonance. So what about the character journey? First, who is the main character? Interesting question, since the Kim family functions largely as a unit with a definite patriarch. Is Mr. Kim the main character? Is this a story with multiple main characters? The answer is no and no. I define the main character as the one who is made sympathetic at the beginning and who has some kind of progression by the end. In this film, that's Ki-woo, the Kim family's son. We become invested in Ki-woo from the first moment when we see him searching for Wi-Fi signal. He has a problem we can all relate to. Then the problem quickly expands to the whole family as we see just how down and out they all are. But then it focuses in on Ki-woo again with the arrival of his friend Min. We deduce from their conversation that Ki-woo is unique among his school friends for not being able to afford university. But Min knows he's smart, so he wants him to take over tutoring his pupil, the daughter of the wealthy Park family, while he studies abroad. Ki-woo is the family member with aspiring ambitions. He considers the college diploma his sister just forged simply an early printing of it. He will go to university and get a legitimate degree. A equals aspiring to go to university, have a career. By the end of the story, he is no closer to going to university or getting ahead economically than he was at the beginning. Rather, he is lucky to be alive and out of jail. When he discovers his father is hiding in the bunker, he decides he isn't even interested in university or career anymore. He just wants to make a lot of money to buy the house where his father is. B equals just wants to make money, a lot of it. Rather than the typical character progression towards personal betterment, the internal distance that Ki-woo travels is a downward slide. His declining circumstances have subverted his lofty career goals in favor of desperate money grabbing to free his father. Without a satisfying action or character story, how does Parasite manage to resonate so well with audiences? Clearly, it's the social commentary. How the film challenges our understanding of the world through the eyes and experience of the Kim family. In the beginning, we meet a family of menial laborers who have mastered the small-scale hustle to get work in a system stacked against them. They manage, one by one, to infiltrate the Park family, steeped in tech wealth, to secure well-paying jobs for themselves. A equals with good connections and a plan, poverty can be transcended. When they reach the pinnacle of their success, freely inhabiting the house while the rich family is away on a camping trip, they are surprised by the return of the former housekeeper, who reveals a hidden bunker where her husband is hiding out from creditors. This is when they, and we, learn of a level of economic desperation even greater than what they have been suffering. Where they live is only a semi-basement. These unfortunate souls have been driven by financial misfortune into a deep underground bunker. The Kim family is suddenly confronted with the tenuousness of their own position, which is then confirmed by a torrential rainstorm. What small stability they had achieved is kicked out from under them as they slide down and down and down to a previously unimaginable low. Then, in a cruel twist, they are pulled out of their all-time low to be servants at a garden party that is utterly oblivious to their suffering. The bunker dweller they have inadvertently unleashed crashes the party in a murderous rampage, and their carefully constructed plan collapses into blood-soaked chaos. B equals the obstacles blocking upward mobility are insurmountable. Here we see a significant distance between our understanding of the world at point A and our understanding of it at point B. At point A, there was hope. By point B, there is none. Therefore, it is the theme story that gives this film its purpose. The action and character stories are only there in service to it. Note that none of this fate is Ki-woo's alone. It applies to the whole family, which confirms that while Ki-woo serves as the main character, the story is not about him, nor is it about only one family's quest to overcome their circumstances. Rather, it is about a larger picture of extreme social inequity and severely limited opportunity, couched in a Korean comedy of manners, complete with squatters, posers, interlopers, and parasites. If you want a more thorough description of how I analyze separate action, character, and theme storylines, be sure to watch my video, How to Make Your Screenplay Stand Out, in which I discuss Adam McKay's Don't Look Up, for its powerful theme story that is supported by an engaging action story. Click on the link in the description below. And of course, if you found this video useful, please give it a like and feel free to share it with your friends. See you next time.